Bro's weak as hell. Can't believe people like this walk around free. Get a grip, man. And then, LOL, no wonder she left you. That broke me. The next day, I received an email from HR at my office. They wanted to discuss a sensitive matter. I knew what it was. Someone had forwarded the video to the company. I was the butt of a joke now. People who used to respect me now looked at me like I was broken. I went into work anyway. I needed to show my face, pretend like I was fine. I walked into the office, eyes straight, trying to ignore the whispers. But I could feel them, staring, judging, giggling behind their screens. HR sat me down. Matt, are you okay? They asked. I nodded. Yeah, just a misunderstanding. They didn't push me, but the damage was done. My promotion was quietly pulled. My clients were reassigned temporarily. People started distancing themselves from me. I wasn't the confident, funny, reliable guy anymore. I was that guy from the video. That night, I stood on my balcony looking down at the empty street. A part of me wanted to disappear. But another part, that part started to burn. Anger, betrayal, fire. That's when I made a choice. I wasn't going to let Sarah win. I was going to rise. I was going to reclaim my life, my name, my reputation. And maybe, just maybe, I'd even beat her at her own game. But I had no idea what I was getting into. Because the next morning, she posted something even worse. The next morning, I opened my phone with shaking hands, already bracing for the worst. And there it was. Sarah had posted a second video. This time, it wasn't just about my mental health. It was worse. She edited together clips and voice recordings from our past relationship, moments that made me look like a manipulative, angry boyfriend. One recording, I recognized immediately. I was venting after a really bad day, raising my voice, frustrated, not at her, but about work. She had twisted it to look like I was yelling at her. She captioned it, "This is what emotional abuse looks like. Believe victims." The video took off even faster than the last one. People started sharing it, commenting things like "He's dangerous," "She's so brave for speaking up," and "We stand with you, girl." That was the final blow. My DMs were filled with hate. My inbox, over 100 unread emails from strangers. My LinkedIn, tanking. I lost over 70% of my professional connections overnight. Recruiters unfollowed me. I even got a warning from my employer saying they were now officially monitoring my conduct. I wasn't just a joke anymore. I was now considered a threat. My anxiety was through the roof, but I forced myself to breathe and do something I should have done long ago. I wrote everything down. Every message, every video, every text. Every time she used my mental health against me. I needed a record. Something real. Something I could eventually use. But for now, I had to escape the noise. I logged off every social media account, deleted the apps, and I went quiet. For 2 weeks. In those 2 weeks, something surprising happened. The world moved on. People stopped talking about me. The video was still up, sure, but new drama took its place. Some celebrity scandal. A political fight. The internet always found something new to chew on. And me? I started rebuilding. I joined a support group for people who'd been through public shaming. Yes, that's a real thing. Turns out, I wasn't alone. There were people just like me. One girl had her ex post fake screenshots of her cheating. A guy got cancelled for a joke he didn't even say. It was comforting, weirdly. We weren't victims. We were survivors. One person in that group, her name was Jessica, told me, "The internet forgets fast, but you remember forever." That's what makes it hard. But that's also what makes you stronger. I held on to those words like a lifeline. Still, I couldn't ignore the damage Sarah had done. So I did something bold. I wrote a public letter. I posted it on Medium. I called it, "What Happens When the Internet Gets It Wrong." I didn't name Sarah. I didn't attack her. I told my side. I talked about anxiety, trust, what it's like to be vulnerable with someone who uses it against you. I included screenshots, messages with the names blacked out, and even an audio message from a close friend confirming my version of the events. I shared how I was trying to heal. And then, I waited. The post started slow. A few reads, a few shares, then something changed. A big mental health advocate on Twitter shared it. Then a famous YouTuber. Then a journalist. Suddenly, my post had 100K views in under 2 days. People messaged me. Not with hate this time, but with support. Thank you for sharing this. I went through something similar. You're brave for staying kind. It didn't fix everything, but it gave me something back. My voice. Just when I thought things were finally getting better, just when I was sleeping again, eating again, smiling again. I got a message from a Bona Instagram account. You think you won? I'm just getting started. Attached was a photo. It was me, walking home from the gym. Taken just the day before. She was watching me. Subscribe now before the real chaos begins. I dropped my phone. My heart pounded so hard it felt like it was punching through my ribs. She was watching me. The gym wasn't even near her place. I hadn't spoken to her. I hadn't looked at her page. I blocked everything. But somehow, Sarah knew where I was. When I was there. What I was doing. I picked up my phone again, and the message was gone. Account deleted. No profile picture. No username. No trail. I reported it, of course. But those burner accounts disappear as fast as they show up. I contacted the police just to log a report, but without proof of a direct threat, they couldn't really do much. That night, I didn't sleep. I kept checking my window. Every little sound made me jump. Even the fridge hum freaked me out. But I still showed up to work the next day, pretending everything was fine. For a while, I focused on rebuilding. I got promoted to a new team, working under a kinder manager. I worked hard, put in the hours, helped co-workers, and stayed late, not because I had to, but because I wanted to show I was still worth something. I even met someone new. Her name was Emily. We bumped into each other at a bookstore. I was looking at a true crime novel. She made a joke about how people who read true crime are secretly terrifying, and I replied, maybe I'm the quiet type you should be afraid of. She laughed. And that was the beginning of something good. We started hanging out. She was smart, kind, and didn't care about my online past. I told her everything. About Sarah, the videos, the messages. She listened. She didn't judge. She just said, sounds like you've been through hell. But you're still here. And for a while, life felt okay again. Until my job's HR called me in. I wasn't worried at first. I'd been doing great. Even my manager said so. But then I walked into the office and saw 2 HR representatives, serious faces. Files open. One of them had a legal pad filled with notes. We received a complaint, the woman said. A formal report of inappropriate conduct and emotional abuse from someone claiming to be a past romantic partner. I was standing in front of my office door when my phone buzzed like crazy. At least 20 missed calls. My heart raced. I tapped into my inbox and froze. Hundreds of emails. All saying the same thing. You disgust me. How could you do this to her? You're sick. Attached to most of them was the same screenshot, my face on a fake profile, with horrible things written about me. They said I cheated, that I emotionally abused my ex, that I sent disturbing texts to her friends. And the worst part, the post was shared by her, my ex Madison. She made it all look so real. The dates, the screenshots, the made-up confessions from others who knew what I did. And just like that, everything I had built came crashing down. My boss wouldn't even look at me. My coworkers stopped inviting me to meetings. People I thought were friends unfollowed me or sent me angry messages. It was like I became a villain overnight. And the craziest part, I didn't do any of it. My name was dragged online for everyone to spit on. But I couldn't even defend myself without sounding guilty. The more I tried, the worse it got. People had already chosen sides. And it wasn't mine. What Madison didn't know was that I wasn't going to stay quiet. Because I had proof, the kind that could destroy her lies forever. But getting it, that would nearly destroy me first. Let me tell you everything from the beginning. Before Madison ruined my name. Before all this madness started. And before I realized that love, when poisoned by jealousy, can become your worst nightmare. It all started 2 years ago, when I met her at a small bookstore on 8th Street. She was standing in front of the fiction shelf, pulling out a copy of The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I was next to her looking for something else, but when she turned to smile at me, I swear, the world slowed down a bit. Madison had this kind of warmth to her. Bright green eyes, curly brown hair, and a calmness in her voice that could melt anyone's stress away. She asked if I'd read The Alchemist, and we started talking. One thing led to another, and I offered to buy her coffee at the cafe next door. We ended up sitting there for hours, talking about books, dreams, family, everything. She told me she wanted to be a writer. I said I was working in tech, helping small businesses build websites. It felt natural, safe, good. A week later, we were officially dating. For the first few months, it was perfect. She would surprise me with cookies she baked. I helped her edit short stories she wrote. We'd have deep talks at night, watching the stars from my tiny balcony. We were like two puzzle pieces that fit together easily. But soon, small cracks started to show. The first was her jealousy. She'd get upset if I mentioned a female coworker, even if I was just talking about a meeting. She hated it when I went out with friends without her. Once, she even showed up to my friend Josh's birthday dinner uninvited and sat silently the whole time, watching me like a hawk. When I asked if something was wrong, she said, "I just don't trust people around you." At the time, I thought it was sweet. Like she cared so much she didn't want to lose me. But now I know, it was control. Dressed as love, she also had a habit of keeping score. If I missed one of her calls, she'd ignore mine for a day. If I forgot to compliment her outfit, she'd find a way to make me feel guilty. Still, I stayed. Because when it was good, it was really good. And I thought, maybe I could love her out of the pain she was hiding. Maybe if I just proved I'd never hurt her, she'd feel safe with me. But I was wrong. Things got worse when I got promoted at work. I started managing a team, and suddenly my hours changed. I had to stay late some days, take calls at night, and travel once or twice a month. Madison hated it. She accused me of using work as an excuse to avoid her, of cheating, of not caring anymore. One night, she screamed at me over the phone, saying, "I gave you everything, and you just forgot about me." I didn't yell back. I told her we needed space, that maybe we were hurting each other more than helping. She cried, then went silent, then said okay. The breakup seemed calm, but I didn't know I had just lit the match to a fuse that would blow up my entire life. 2 weeks later, the lies began. At first, it was just a weird post from someone I didn't know tagging me, saying, "Can't believe what I just read. Wow." With a link. I clicked it. It was a blog post on a shady site. It had fake screenshots of texts that looked like they were from me, messages I never sent. It had photos of me, taken without my knowing, paired with stories that never happened. And at the bottom, it said, "Shared with permission by Madison L." I felt like throwing up. I tried calling her, texting her. No reply. I emailed the site to take the post down. Nothing. I even reported the post on social media. But it was too late. People believed it. Because why would someone lie like that? And because Madison seemed so sweet and honest, no one doubted her. My friends were divided. Some believed me. Others didn't know what to think. And at work, I was called in by HR. They said they had to investigate. That I was being put on leave until further notice. Just like that, everything I had worked for was gone. I felt hopeless, alone, angry, and the worst part, I couldn't prove anything yet. Until one night, I got a message. It was from a stranger, but what they sent me changed everything. The next morning, I woke up with my heart pounding in my chest. My phone was blowing up with texts and missed calls. I didn't even want to open them, but I had to. The first message I saw was from a coworker, Katie. "Hey, just wanted to say I'm sorry for what you're going through. If you ever need to talk." What was she talking about? Then came another. "Yo, Matt, that video. I don't even know what to say. This is messed up." My throat went dry. My stomach turned. I didn't know what video they were talking about until I opened my Instagram. There it was, a video of me, but not just any video. It was a clip of me screaming during a panic attack last year. I had recorded it for my therapist as part of my treatment. I never showed it to anyone except her except I had sent it once. To Sarah. During one of our good moments, when she promised she wanted to understand my anxiety and be there for me. She told me it made her love me more. And now, she had posted it online. With the caption, "This is what I had to deal with. You decide who the real victim is." My hands were shaking. I dropped the phone. My vision blurred as my eyes welled up with tears. That video wasn't just embarrassing, it was private. It was personal. And now the whole world could see it. I didn't go to work that day. I couldn't. I sat in my apartment, curled up in a ball, the blinds shut, lights off. My mind was spinning. How could she do this to me? After everything we'd been through, after everything I'd shared, I thought maybe, just maybe, I could talk to her, reason with her. So I texted her. "Please take it down. That was private. I trusted you." No reply. Hours passed. I tried calling. Blocked. By that night, the video had over 15,000 views. People I didn't even know were commenting. Some were kind. Others were laughing. My stomach dropped. "Excuse me," I said. They showed me the letter. It was signed anonymously. But I didn't need to guess who sent it. Sarah. It listed the same things from her old video. It referenced unhinged behavior, gaslighting, and emotional manipulation. It claimed I was a danger to co-workers, especially women. I felt my throat tighten. "You can't be serious. This is false. She's my ex. She's been doing this for months." "We understand. But until we investigate, we have to suspend you with pay. It's policy." I walked out of that room feeling like my feet didn't touch the ground. Everything I built, everything I fought to recover, was crumbling again. When I told Emily, she was furious. "This is stalking," she said. "This is harassment." "I know," I whispered. "But she's smart. She always hides her fingerprints." Emily looked at me, her face hard. "Then it's time we get smart too." That night, we went full detective mode. We looked at every burner message, every timeline, every location. We started connecting the dots. Then Emily said, "Wait, remember the bookstore where we met?" She posted a photo on her alt account. "Right." I nodded. I remembered it. One of my friends had shown me. It was posted on the same day we met. In the same store. She'd been there that day. Watching. That wasn't fate. It was planned. My ex had followed me. To the store. To the gym. Maybe even to work. It wasn't about revenge anymore. It was obsession. But here's the thing. She made a mistake. The bookstore had cameras. And we knew the owner. We asked if we could see footage from that day, just out of curiosity. He agreed. What we saw changed everything. Sarah was in the background, lurking, watching me, even pointing her phone toward me while I talked to Emily. We paused the video and took a screenshot. Finally, proof. Real, physical evidence of her stalking me. Just when I thought we had her, just when I believed this nightmare might end. Emily's car got broken into. Nothing was stolen, but a photo was left on the dashboard. It was a printed-out picture of me and Emily together from our first date. A red X was drawn over my face. Emily and I stared at the photo. That red X across my face felt like a silent threat. It said everything without using a single word. She had broken into Emily's car, taken nothing, and left that one photo. I called the police again. This time, with the bookstore footage and the photo in the car, they opened a formal investigation. But even then, they warned us it might take time, especially since Sarah hadn't technically harmed anyone yet. Emily wasn't scared, though. She was angry. And when Emily got angry, she became unstoppable. She said, if she wants to keep hiding in the dark, let's drag her into the light. Together, we made a plan. We gathered everything, screenshots, dates, emails, videos, her alt account history. Emily even contacted a friend who worked in digital forensics to help trace IP addresses. We started building a digital wall of evidence. Every time Sarah messaged me, we saved it. Every burner account that popped up, screenshot. When she liked an old photo on my profile from a fake account, we screen recorded it. Meanwhile, My suspension from work was still active. HR was slow, too slow, and rumors were spreading. I felt the judgment again. People whispering, eyes watching. Even though Emily kept encouraging me, I could feel my confidence cracking again. All the progress I made felt like it was slipping away. Then, something unexpected happened. The digital forensics friend called us with something big. He found a match between one of the burner accounts and an IP address from a local coffee shop, one Sarah used to work at. It wasn't foolproof, but it placed her there at the time of a threatening message. We added it to the growing pile of evidence and submitted it to the police. Then we waited. Days passed. Nothing. Until one afternoon, I got a call. "Mr. Carter, this is Detective Blake. We have Sarah in custody for questioning. We'd like you to come down and make a formal statement." I felt lightheaded. Emily squeezed my hand as I sat down, hearing those words. I wasn't free yet, but I wasn't alone anymore. I went in and gave my full statement. Everything. From the moment she made the fake video to the stalking, the fake HR report, the car break-in. When I was done, the detective nodded. "We've been watching her for weeks. Your report helped us move forward." For the first time in over a year, I felt like I could breathe again. But this isn't where it ends. A week later, Emily came home with a grim expression. "What's wrong?" I asked. She handed me her phone. Sarah had made a new video. It was her again, crying, telling her followers that I was harassing her, that she was the victim, that I planted fake evidence to get her in trouble. And it went viral. Again, thousands of likes, people calling her brave and strong. And once again, I was painted as the monster. Subscribe to hear the end of this wild story. When I saw that new video, I almost collapsed. Not again. It felt like déjà vu, except this time, Sarah had grown bolder. She named me directly, told the world I was trying to silence her. She said I had manipulated the justice system and claimed she feared for her life. People believed her. Comments flooded in. "Stay strong, girl. Expose him. He's scary. You should sue." Emily and I sat in silence. Then I said, "She's doing it again. She's flipping the story." Emily didn't blink. She said, "Then it's time we flip it back." This time, we went public. I made a video. My face. My voice. I told everything. I showed the bookstore footage. The screenshot of the red X left on our dashboard. The IP trace. The messages. The HR email. I told the truth. Without drama. Without rage. Just the facts. At first, nothing happened. But then, my video caught fire. People started commenting things like, "Wait, she lied about all that. Why would she break into a car if she's scared of him? This is next-level manipulation." And just like that, the tide turned. People started digging into her page. They found contradictions, inconsistencies. They noticed how some of her messages were copy-pasted from Reddit horror stories. She lost thousands of followers overnight. Sponsors dropped her. Companies distanced themselves. Then the real hammer came down. The police filed charges. Stalking. Harassment. Filing false reports. Tampering with personal property. Defamation. She was arrested. I showed up at the court hearing with Emily and my lawyer. Sarah sat in the front row, hands shaking, her entire online persona shattered. The judge read every detail. And then he looked at her and said, "You didn't just hurt him. You hurt every real victim who will now struggle to be believed." She got sentenced to 6 months in jail and 2 years probation with mandatory therapy. And me? My name was cleared. HR apologized. I was reinstated with back pay and a public statement correcting the false claims. Even better, I got promoted to senior manager. I now sat at the same desk my old boss used to occupy. He'd retired after all the noise, and I made it my mission to create a safe, open, and honest workplace. No one would ever go through what I did again. Not on my watch. Emily and I stayed together. We still laugh about how we met. She says I owe her dinner every year on the day we saw Sarah lurking in the bookstore. And I always agree. Because sometimes, the worst things lead to the best people. To everyone who's ever had their name dragged through the mud, just remember, truth might walk slower than lies. But it always crosses the finish line. Subscribe if this story gave you hope, healing, growth, victory, and remember, never let someone else write your ending.